Welcome to episode 52 of the Health with Hashimoto's podcast. I know there's 52 weeks in a year, so you'd think this is my 1 year anniversary, but I released a couple extra podcasts throughout the year. So I'm almost to my 1 year anniversary, and thank you so very much for making this year so special. Looking at my statistics and seeing that there's hundreds and thousands of people listening, it means so much to me that you give me that time and the trust. It's a huge honor. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So this podcast is your go-to for simple, sustainable strategies to regain your energy and create lasting wellness. And of course, that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about it in a slightly different perspective, the perspective of a parent. So I am a nerd, and I'm fine admitting that. I have actually done algebra for fun. I love math. All 4 of my kids are very good at math. And so when one of them starts crying over a math problem, I know that I have a puzzle to solve. It's not that they're crying because of the math. They're usually crying because of something else that's impacted his ability to do math well. So I start to go through all of the possibilities. Like, is he tired? Is he coming down with something? Is he hungry? Is it spiritual? Sometimes, you're feeling really guilty and you can't concentrate on math. Or is the space too cluttered to think? As the mom, it is my job to help my kids do their best. And this means in all things, the whole person, body, mind, spirit, diet, environment. It's a big job, and it's one I take seriously because, of course, I care about my kids and I want the best for them. But what about for me? How do I take care of myself? How do you take care of yourself? I don't know about you, but the term self-care, it always sounds nice, but it doesn't sound critical, right? It sounds like items that would be nice to add to my day, but if I don't get to them, no harm done. But many years ago, I was listening to a podcast. It's called The Business of Becoming, and I heard a term that was new to me, and it was self-parenting. Like a light bulb went on. It was a game changer, just that phrase. And now I look at my own health with the eyes of a parent. It makes a big difference. So looking at my kids, do I let my kids stay up 2 or 3 hours after their bedtime because they chose to start a good book late in the day and they want to finish it? No. Do I do this very thing? Yep. And do I pay for it the next day? Yes, I do. And then this leads to the whole, if mom isn't happy, nobody's happy. I do try to limit that, but I'm human, right? The whole family can be impacted because I chose to stay up late. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should, right? Back in high school, my mom told me that nobody under her roof would ever dye their hair. So guess what I did the freshman year of my college? Well, of course, I dyed my hair. Did I really want to? Not really. I did it because I could. Because independence leads to a lot of freedom. And we choose what and how we eat. Hello, as an adult, have you ever eaten dessert first when it was forbidden as a kid? We choose how and where we worship, when we sleep, who we hang out with. But with this freedom comes the responsibility to use it wisely. When I was a kid, I was always looking forward to later bedtime. And then when I left home, I had nobody telling me when to go to bed. I had to self-regulate. I had to, self-parent. But I chose shifts in the emergency department that would suit my circadian rhythm. Working until 1:30 in the morning or even 3:30, that was my favorite shift. That was perfect for me. And then I would sleep in late. I still got the hours of sleep that I needed. This was prior to kids, of course. But I was a natural night owl. And then when my kids were born and they wanted to get up before 10 o'clock in the morning, well, I didn't change my own sleep. I still stayed up late. I absolutely know the benefits of sleep. I know that your entire body, mind, and spirit even need it for whole health. I know that healing, restoration, and renewal happen when you are sleeping. I know that your immune system works better when you are rested. I know all of this in my head. I teach it to you here on the podcast. And yet, I was still staying up late, getting 2, even 4 hours less sleep than I need some nights. And quite honestly, I think I only survived for so long because I was implementing so many other health strategies into each day. So now I am self-parenting. Do I do it every single day? No. But when my independence craving, my feeling brain wants to keep going late into the night, my rational thinking brain often, not always, often goes into parenting mode and tells me to go to bed. So as a result, I am getting more sleep. I'm feeling more rested. I don't start to slur my words as I struggle to stay awake reading the boys a book. And of course, some of that comes with my Hashimoto's symptoms. My thyroid seems to be doing better. And when I say it seems to be, based on my lab work, based on my symptoms, based on all of the data points, I am doing better, including that whole not slurring my words as I struggle to stay awake reading the boys a book. But self-parenting works in other areas too, because I am a whole person and you are a whole person. How can you incorporate self-parenting? What about exercise? Even if you don't want to, is that something that you can say, oh, this is a priority. I need to make sure that I exercise. What about vegetables, eating your greens? I think that most of us, if we had our preference, if we could just behave how we wanted to, we would eat crap all the time, right? We would eat sugar, processed foods, salt. They're appealing. They're designed to be appealing. I don't know if we would choose to eat vegetables, but we choose to eat vegetables. That's like self-parenting. It's doing what we know is important. The term self-parenting has changed my view, and more importantly, my actions about my health. How can you use that term, self-parenting, in your life? What can you apply it to? And think back to the logo, it's in the cover art of every episode, the little flower. There's a petal for body, mind, spirit, diet, environment. Don't go all out and try to change everything all at once, but focus on one petal at a time, one thing. How can you use this new phrase, this new term, self-parenting, and apply it to your own whole health? What can you do differently so that you have a healthier tomorrow, a healthier next week? And like I talked about earlier on the podcast, leaving a legacy of health, because our kids do usually what we model. All right, this is a super short episode today. I hope that you have an amazing summer week, whatever you have planned for this week. Make sure that you are signed up for the Hashimoto's 101 guide down below so that you can hear when the cart opens and when I release more information about this course that I'm making for you. I really appreciate all the feedback that I have gotten so far, all of the help that I'm getting as I make it a perfect course for you to help you with your Hashimoto's so you can put all the steps that you need to into action so you can achieve better health. I'll talk to you next week on the Health with Hashimoto's podcast. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast today. Hashimoto's thyroiditis can be overwhelming and frightening. Your body isn't working as expected, and you get frustrated. You can be dealing with many different symptoms, including fatigue, anxiety, heart palpitations, depression, brain fog, and more. You might find yourself saying, I just want to feel like myself again, and I get it. I created the Hashimoto's 101 guide so that you can understand what Hashimoto's is, what it means for you, and how you can create a path to health. There is hope. You can find better health. Download this free guide at healthwithhashimotos.com/guide. Please help others find this show by rating and reviewing it in your podcast app or by sharing a screenshot of today's episode in your social media stories. Be sure to tag me on Instagram. You can find me at estherY.rn. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Please be sure to discuss any concerns and plans with your trusted healthcare professional.